Hi, Lorne Brown here, doctor of traditional Chinese medicine and clinical hypnotherapist, Acubalance Wellness Center, Canada. And I want to discuss the stress response and fertility, and more importantly, a really simple technique to put your body into a state of calmness, of feeling safe, which is conducive to fertility. And so, first, I always like to kind of use a metaphor or analogy to simplify things. My intention here is to make fertility easier to understand. And when you think about Einstein's quote, he says, make everything as simple as possible and no simpler. And so that's my intention today. The stress response. So when you are feeling alarmed, not safe, your body goes into that sympathetic overdrive, and blood is diverted from your reproductive system and digestion for survival. And when you are in a state of calmness or feeling safe, you're more engaged in that parasympathetic nervous system. And that parasympathetic nervous system has been called the rest and digest and breed and feed system. Emphasis when it comes to fertility on breed. And that sympathetic nervous system you're probably familiar with is known as the fight or flight. Now, neither one is really a good or bad one. Like the fight or flight often gets a bad rap. But here's my metaphor. If you're driving a engine car, I say this because so many people have electric cars now, but you know how they have the RPMs. Well, when you're driving your car and you have to pass somebody on the highway and your RPMs go up, that's not bad for your vehicle. Some car enthusiasts actually say it's good once in a while to really rev up your car and rev up those RPMs. It's actually really good for the car. But if you drove 500 kilometers from point A to point B with your RPMs in the red, that would not be good for your engine or your car. So there is a place and time for that. And so for your sympathetic, your fight or flight, if you're about to get hit by a car, and you need to move out really quickly, or somebody's trapped under a car, you need superhuman strength. You've probably heard those stories where moms have picked up a car off their child, or there's a wild animal. That is an appropriate time for your sympathetic nervous system to kick in to mobilize all this energy. Reproduction, digestion, immunity is no longer a priority. Survival in this moment is. But if you are worried about your fertility, or you have an IVF cycle or a pregnancy test, there's no survival benefit to have that sympathetic engaged. And that is wearing your body down on a cellular level over time. That's what chronic stress does. Now, the good news is there is a simple technique for you to train yourself to go into that parasympathetic. So it's just a nice, easy mind hack, a bio mind hack here. And we're going to use the breath to do this. And I want to explain why this is so effective. So you have your autonomic nervous system, which is part of reproduction. Think about this. When you eat food, you can use your conscious mind, your will to eat food, but you don't consciously digest that food. You don't choose the acids to be released and the enzymes to be released and what's being absorbed in the different parts of your intestinal tract. You don't do that. That happens without any effort on your conscious part. The same thing for reproduction. You can take your prenatal, you can get your acupuncture for blood flow and stress reduction. There's a lot of things you can do to create a nice environment. But at the end of the day, it's the body, this subconscious, the autonomic system that's going to take care of everything. And so while we've been chatting, you haven't been thinking, I need to inhale and I need to exhale. I need to inhale. No, it's all part of the autonomic nervous system. Just like your heart is part of that involuntary autonomic nervous system. Your heart beats when you sleep. You're consciously not aware. You're sleeping. Your heart beats and your blood circulates. Well, if I asked you to stop your heart right now or slow it down, I don't think most of you have the capability of doing that. If I asked you to hold your breath or slow down your breathing, you can do that. So your breath is part of that autonomic nervous system, but it's part of the voluntary and involuntary aspect of that part of your nervous system. And you can use your breath to tell your nervous system you are safe. So through some studies with heart rate variability, where they're measuring the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, we have learned that the exhale is the engagement of the parasympathetic nervous system. So you'll see in this breath technique that I share that I like a really long exhale. And some suggest that the deep belly breath, somehow with the diaphragm, the deep belly breath stretches and impacts the vagus nerve, which also helps engage that parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, it's the rest and digest and breathe and feed nervous system, emphasis on breathe. And so with your breath, you can tell your nervous system that I am safe. And then things start to fall in place. Don't have the high RPMs, and then blood is diverted back to your digestion and reproductive system. Your immune system is not negatively impacted by the chronic stress, etc. So let me show you the breath technique that you can use. I often share this with my patients at Acubalance, and it's something that I commonly share when I see patients at the Olive Fertility Center for IVF transfer day, when they have their frozen or fresh embryo transfers. Pre-transfer, I'll teach this breathing technique that you're about to learn. And then they do it in the room while they're waiting to receive their embryo before they go in. And while they're receiving their embryo, they do that. And I encourage them to do this continually throughout the 2-week wait, and especially when they're about to have their pregnancy test, just again to let the body and the parasympathetic nervous system be engaged. So I'll explain it and then demonstrate it, and you can go along with me after I do the demonstration. So you breathe in through the nose, and I encourage you for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 8. The mouth is closed during the inhale and the hold, and your tongue behind your front teeth, just at the roof of your mouth. Now, why the tongue at the roof of your mouth? From a Chinese medicine perspective, there's these channels, and it kind of creates a circuit. On a logical or more Western science understanding of it, when your tongue's at the roof of your mouth, you're not clenching your jaw. Like, you can clench your jaw, but if you put your tongue gently behind your front teeth, then you automatically will start to relax your jaw as well. And so you can change your pace. I'm going to do a good pace right now. However, it's great if you're able to do it without losing your breath. It should be relaxing and easy. You can slow down this pace. But for the first time in starting, this is the pace I'd recommend. So take a deep breath and just get rid of all the air. And then start on the inhale. In through the nose, mouth closed. 1, 2, 3, 4 as you inhale, and then hold for a count of 4. And then a nice long exhale through the mouth for a long count of 8. We want to have a longer exhale than the inhale. So again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the inhale, holding, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale through the mouth all the way out for a count of 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, and 4 through the nose, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through the mouth all the way out, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On this inhale, imagine you're breathing in peace and calmness on the inhale and holding. And when you exhale, just let go of all tension, all worry, all stress on that exhale. Breathe in peace and calmness on the inhale. And on your exhale, just let go of all tension, all worry, all stress. And I recommend you do sets of 4. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 8 is 1. And do at least a set of 4, so 4 times. They say on average it takes about 3 of those to get your body and your brain to start to realize it's safe. And so 4 to 6 is what I'd recommend. And you can do that multiple times throughout the day, when you wake up, before meals, bedtime, and then anytime you're noticing you're in an alarm state, you're feeling tense, you're feeling stressed, you notice you're worried, your busy mind, you feel the anxiety or fear, remind yourself, are you about to be hit by a car? You wouldn't be able to think this through. Or a wild animal? No. So it's not a survival benefit. And so let your nervous system know you're safe and start that deep breathing. And I hope this is a tool that you'll bring into your life. You'll start to notice your hands and feet will, if you have cold hands and feet, women that I see that do this over a 3-week period throughout the day, several times, 4 to 6 times a day, they say within a couple of weeks, they start to notice their hands and feet warm up. And that's because you're more into parasympathetic. When you're in that sympathetic fight or flight on a regular basis, the blood is diverted from your reproduction, your digestion, and from your hands and feet to go to your heart, your lungs, and your large muscles so you can fight or flight. And so we want that blood flow to your reproductive system. We want to know that your hands and feet are nice and warm. And so this is why this breathing exercise is such a simple tool, yet a powerful and effective tool to elicit the relaxation response, which is supportive of your innate ability to heal and reproduce. I hope this episode, Making Fertility Easier, was beneficial to you. If you have questions or you want support trying to conceive naturally or with an IVF acupuncture support, please contact Acubalance Wellness Center. We'd be happy to talk with you during one of our free 15-minute Q&As. Thank you.